Alright, so it says graph the circle and find the circumference and area. Let's see here. If I'm going to graph it, I'm going to need my center. What's my center in this case? Well, remember, it's x minus h. I think it'd be helpful to have that down. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now, here's the biggest thing here, guys. The biggest mistake that people make is they accidentally forget to change signs. Meaning, it's x minus h squared. So x minus 3, that means that h is 3. Your x coordinate is 3, not negative 3. And then it's y minus k. Well, how do you get y minus k to be y plus 1? It'd be minus a negative, so that means that this is negative 1 here. That would be my center. So my center is 3, negative 1. Awesome. So in order to graph this, we're going to need our radius, right? Well, I know that r squared is equal to 16, right? My equation ends with r squared, as you see, right? So that's 16. Well, my radius then, how do I solve for that? How about I take the square root of both sides, and I'll get r to equal 4. Now, when I solve algebraically, it's plus or minus 4. That's more of like an algebra type of dealio. We're not going to have a radius of negative 4, so we're not focusing on that negative. So really, just my positive 4. All right. Now that I have these pieces of information, I can go ahead and graph it. So if I'm going to be 4 away, I'm going to be here. When I graph these, I like to give myself like 4 points to look off of and make my circle nice. Okay. So I've got those guys that are all 4 away. I'm going to go ahead and do a circle best I can. That is relatively terrible. All right. Perfect. Wonderful. You know what? I'm going to try that again real quick. All right, that was better. I'm cool with that. So there's my circle. I've graphed that. That's something we can ask you to do on a test. The last things we want to do are circumference and area. So my circumference is equal to 2 pi times my radius of 4. So that's 8 pi. And if we were to approximate that and plug it into our calculator, let's see here. We've got 8 times pi gives me 25.13. So either one of those is cool with me for my circumference. And we'll do the same thing for area. Pi times my radius of 4 squared, which equals 16 pi. If we were to approximate that, 16 times pi is 50.265, so 27, if we round it correctly. Awesome. Alrighty. Well, that's, again, basically it for this video. So we're going to do a couple more practice problems and then call it a day on this bad boy. Alrighty, same kind of dealio. We want to graph the circle and find the circumference and area. So first things first, I got to find my center. Well, the center for this one is, well, my x-coordinate, since there's nothing there, it's 0. My y-coordinate would then be negative 2. We got to be careful with that sign, right? Since it's y minus k, y minus k, then I got to have a negative to make that happen. So it's really looking like y minus negative 2 squared, right? So this right here is my y-coordinate. Okie doke. This is the negative wouldn't give you that positive that you see right there. Okay. Next thing, let's see here. Let's go ahead and graph that center. 0, negative 2 would be right there. What's my radius for this one? My radius, what's the square root of 25? Is 5. All right, so I'm going to be 5 away from each spot. So 5 away there, 5 away here, 5, and 5. I think that looks pretty good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make a semi-decent circle. I'll allow it. That looks okay. Alrighty. So there's my circle. Main thing, guys, plot those 4 points so I can tell that you actually know that the radius is 5 in this case or whatever it might end up being. Alright? Last couple things here. We want to find the circumference equals 2 times pi times my radius of 5. So it's 10 pi. And then my area is pi times my radius squared. So that is 25 pi. And I feel like just leaving them like that, and rather than plugging them in my calculator. If you want to plug them in and get decimals, that's cool. It's like 31 and some change, and then the other one is about 78 and some change. All right? Cool. Awesome. Uno más. Alrighty, last one here. It says graph the circle and find the circumference and area. Oh my goodness, what a shocker. Anywho, let's find the center first, as always. My center will be 1, 5. Cool. Remember, those sign changes are big on these. That's the first mistake that everybody makes. My radius is, well, what's the square root of 4? 2. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and graph this bad boy. So we got 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, right there. My radius of 2, so I'm going to be 2 over all the way around this thing to graph this circle. There we go. And then I want to find my circumference and area. Circumference is 2 pi times my radius, so I get 4 pi. Feel free to put that in the calculator and get a decimal. And then the other one would be pi times my radius of 2 squared, which equals 4 pi. This is one of the rare, or the only occurrence where that actually will happen, where they are the same. The circumference and the area are both the same. Only in this particular situation. So my distance around the circle is the same as the square footage of the circle. The number, anyways, is. Okay, the units are different. Awesome. Well, that was a rip-roaring good time, children. A rip-roaring good time indeed.